Hey, gorgeous souls! How are you doing today? Did you just get back from an amazing vacation but now you're feeling a little blah? Like that vibrant, energized version of yourself got lost somewhere between the hotel checkout and unpacking your suitcase? Listen, we've all been there. You pour your heart into planning the perfect getaway. Those blissful days filled with adventure, relaxation, and memories to last a lifetime. You're living your best life. But then, bam, reality hits. And it's not always pretty. The good news? You don't have to let those post-vacation blues rain on your parade. In this video, we're going to dive deep into why we feel this way after a trip and, more importantly, what you can do to bounce back even stronger and happier. Are you ready? Let's do this. Okay, let's talk about the elephant in the room routine. Or should I say, the lack thereof. Think about it, vacations are all about breaking free from the everyday grind. You sleep in, eat delicious food whenever you want, and fill your days with exciting new experiences. It's pure freedom. But then you come home, and it's right back to that 9 to 5, those deadlines, those endless to-do lists. Suddenly, those structured routines that felt comforting before your trip can feel suffocating, like you're trading your adventurous explorer hat for a rigid corporate uniform, and nobody wants to do that. This sudden shift from go with the flow to get back to business can leave you feeling totally out of whack. You're basically forcing your brain, which has been basking in a blissful vacation state, to slam on the brakes and switch gears. It's no wonder you feel resistant. It's like trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. It's just not going to work without some adjustments. But don't worry, we'll talk about how to make that transition smoother in just a bit. Alright, let's get real for a second. Vacations are basically dopamine factories. Every new sight, every delicious meal, every exhilarating adventure, it all triggers a flood of feel-good chemicals in your brain. Think about it, you're exploring new places, trying new things, and creating unforgettable memories. Your brain is like, woohoo, this is amazing. More, please. But here's the thing about dopamine, it's addictive. And when you return to your everyday life, those dopamine receptors are still craving that vacation high. Suddenly, your daily routine just can't compete with swimming with dolphins or hiking through a rainforest. So you might find yourself scrolling through your vacation pictures, longing for those carefree days. And that's totally normal. It's your brain's way of reliving those happy memories and seeking out that dopamine rush. But here's the good news, you don't need a plane ticket to experience joy and excitement. We'll talk about how to bring those vacation vibes back into your everyday life. Let's face it, coming back to reality after a vacation can feel like getting hit by a ton of bricks. You open your inbox to hundreds of emails, deadlines are looming, and your to-do list is longer than your arm. Suddenly that relaxing vacation feels like a distant memory and you're drowning in a sea of responsibilities. It's enough to make anyone want to crawl back into bed and hide under the covers. This overwhelming feeling is totally understandable. You've gone from a slower pace of life where your biggest decision was whether to have another margarita by the pool or go for a swim, to a whirlwind of tasks and demands. It's like your brain is trying to switch from a leisurely stroll to a full-on sprint without any warm-up. And that's a recipe for burnout before you even begin. But don't worry, there are ways to manage this transition and ease back into your routine without feeling completely overwhelmed. Remember, you've got this. Okay, let's talk about another sneaky culprit behind those post-vacation blues, the comparison trap. You know what I'm talking about? You're scrolling through social media, seeing everyone else's perfectly curated lives, and suddenly your everyday routine seems incredibly blah. It's easy to fall into this trap, especially after a vacation. You've just experienced something extraordinary, something that sparked joy and adventure, and now you're back to reality, doing laundry, going to work, and navigating the daily grind. But here's the thing. Comparison is the thief of joy. It's like trying to compare apples and oranges. They're both delicious and nutritious in their own way. Your everyday life might not be filled with exotic beaches and fancy cocktails, but it's still your life, filled with its own unique beauty and meaning. Remember, social media is just a highlight reel. It's not real life. Alright, my loves, let's talk solutions. First up, ditch the all-or-nothing mentality. Remember that overwhelming feeling of coming back to a mountain of work and responsibilities? Instead of trying to tackle everything at once, which, let's be honest, usually leads to procrastination and overwhelm, try this instead. Focus on one small task at a time. Think of it like dipping your toes back into a pool after a long sunny day. You wouldn't just cannonball in, right? You'd slowly wade in, letting your body adjust to the temperature. The same principle applies to your post-vacation routine. Start with something small and manageable. Maybe it's organizing your desk, responding to a few urgent emails, or unpacking one suitcase. As you check off these small wins, you'll start to feel a sense of accomplishment and control, which can be super motivating. Remember, progress over perfection, always. Who says the vacation has to end just because you're back home? One of my favorite ways to combat the post-vacation blues is to bring those vacation vibes into my everyday life. Think about it. What were some of your favorite things about your trip? Was it the music, the food, the scenery? Find ways to incorporate those elements into your daily routine. Maybe you create a playlist with all the songs that remind you of your trip. Or maybe you try cooking a dish you fell in love with on vacation. You can even print out your favorite travel photos and create a little inspiration corner in your home. It's all about finding those little things that spark joy and remind you of the amazing experiences you had. Remember, happiness isn't a destination, it's a state of mind. And by bringing those vacation vibes home, you can keep that feeling alive long after your tan is faded. So there you have it, beautiful souls. Now you know the secrets to conquering those post-vacation blues and easing back into your routine with grace and ease. Remember, it's totally normal to feel a little out of sorts after a trip, but don't let those feelings derail your progress. Have you ever felt lost after a vacation? Share your story in the comments. I'd love to hear how you handled it. And if these tips were helpful, hit the like button and subscribe for more life tips and motivation. Let's turn post-vacation blues into post-vacation breakthroughs. Now go out there and create a life you love even when you're not on vacation.